gotta pull those. Yeah, you just pick that up and like pick up with your chair. Last time I had to switch with it.
But they can get orders from you.
I think that one don't work.
Yeah.
Mine's a little low too.
Yeah.
Something that's not from
Better.
1992.
I'll sit down. I mean, I usually.
Mine was way too low. Somebody been messing with them. Yeah.
He's out. Let me.
Psychological.
Understand my email?
Yeah, right? We're already up on a plinth.
That's why they said a judge in the courtroom, ain't it?
I just want to make sure that what I was saying.
Yeah, I did. Hey, sorry I'm a little.
Turn off my phone. Vibrate or my phone. Turn on the vibrator. Yeah.
This time, we will call the January the 22nd, 2026 Walton County Zoning Board of Adjustment order. If you would, please stand as we have our invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Charlie, if you would do the invocation, please.
Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity to live in this great nation and in this great county. Please guide us and watch over us here tonight as we do, and help us to do what's best for our county and our citizens. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. We do appreciate each and everyone being here. We appreciate our 6 of our members. Our 7th member in the story is sick. There's a lot of sickness in today, but we do appreciate our members being here. We appreciate our attorney, Ms. Hayward Dice, along with our planning Karen, all the hard work that she does, and the planning staff. We appreciate them for making this possible. Are there any announcements that need to be made at this time?
No, sir.
No announcement need to be made at this time. We will give each and every person here the opportunity to speak. That we'd like not to have repetition, but you will have that opportunity. Everyone that speaks, we ask that you stand, raise your right hand to be sworn. If you would, please stand and raise your right hand if you plan to speak on any issue.
Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
We have several that has been continued. Who's here? Would you like to address what needs to be done for
Yes,
1,
thank you, Mr.
2,
Chairman.
and 3?
We have the Sumter variance, it's VAR 25000036. That's a request to withdraw this application. We have, in doing the review, we realized that the variance was not necessary for what they wanted to do. So that application was not required. We've asked for a refund of their money, and they're ready to move on to a development order. As far as number 2, the Argyle Cell Tower, it's CU 25000005. They're asking to be continued to February the 26th. And I won't read all these numbers. Essentially, we extend our heartfelt warm wishes out to Jesus Navarro. He's one of our newer senior planners. His father passed away unexpectedly. So we worked with the applicants. They were very gracious in agreeing to continue. Again, that was the Argyle Cell Tower. Conditional use, the Argyle Site 3 Cell Tower Variance, the Glendale Site 1 Cell Tower Variance, and the Liberty Site 16 Cell Tower Variance. There's not been a review on these, but they will be coming back to you at the next meeting.
We need
So-
a motion to continue these to the February 26th.
I'll make a motion to continue these to the February 26th meeting.
You got to turn on your mic.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, the hideout conditional use.
That particular project was reviewed by Rosanna Edwards, and at this time, if it's okay with the board, I'd like to ask Ms. Edwards to please come up and present the agenda item to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. Get there. This is item number 6. It's the Hideout Conditional Use. It is a request to approve by final order, project number CU 25-000007. This is a conditional use application submitted by Paradise Biker LLC on behalf of Janet Gomillion, requesting a conditional use for commercial outdoor amusement on 79.62 plus or minus acres. The property has a future land use and a zoning district of general agriculture. The property is in District 2 and is located at 8704 State Highway 81 and identified by the parcel number in your staff report. Would you please enter the staff report into the record?
So entered.
I will just give you a brief history on the property. It's been a existing bar and grill establishment, grandfathered use. They have since added some additional structures, did some recent improvements, including approximately 465 square foot stage, lighting, and sound equipment. They did do a pre-application meeting last year, I think to remedy some of these uses that will need permitting, but in order to do that, they do need a conditional use approval for general agricultural use for commercial outdoor amusement.
Now, this conditional use in a general agriculture, you said this is grandfathered in because there's been a structure there, it's been used for a bar and grill?
The existing bar and grill, I don't know when that was constructed, but it was, I couldn't give you a date, the applicant will have to give you a date, but I think that was a grandfathered. These new improvements are not, and that includes the outdoor amusements, the stage, and the music venue.
But if it wasn't grandfathered in, we'll give you an opportunity to speak. Just let us get, you will have your chance.
I was just gonna tell you that.
You can't till you come up and state your name for the record and all that stuff. Just bear with us, we'll get there. But if this was not grandfathered in, the use was not grandfathered in, would this use be allowed in general ag?
Or the bar and grill, that would typically be a general commercial use. And that's why that is important to know if that is or isn't grandfathered. I can't answer that, but the outdoor amusement is an allowable use.
Explain that.
It is allowable use as approved as a conditional use, with the being that it's subject to, there's 3 criteria it must meet in the general agriculture, and that is not located within a scenic corridor, which this is not. That they provide enhanced landscaping and buffering beyond what is required elsewhere in the code, and that they have a master signage plan if they are proposing signage. So those are the requirements they must meet for a conditional approval for outdoor amusement.
Say that again, if you would, one at a time.
Okay. In section 202D2, the 3 criteria they must meet is they cannot be in the scenic corridor overlay.
Scenic corridors, so they're not.
They have to provide enhanced landscaping and buffering.
Just let me do.
So they need
Well, now
enhanced.
explain the landscape and buffering. I mean, explain that to me.
Buffering between other uses to avoid sound. I know they have existing fence along the property, but I don't know if that's adequate to screening because
So they
they're,
got 79 acres. If
Right, you've got 79 acres.
What is your buffer around that 79 acres?
I don't know what the buffer is.
Well, but the part that fronts the road is actually a very small portion of the parcel, and then the rest of the land extends back off of the road, so
So this is closer to the property line.
and it doesn't look like in the pictures that they have the adequate
Right.
landscape.
There's a 6-foot fence, but I can't speak to the landscaping. But if this conditional use were approved, it would still require them to seek out a development order. So they would still have to address the landscaping. And I did want to mention that if you saw in Exhibit E, there were some engineering comments regarding safety and,
Well, let's go back to the landscape.
Okay.
So it says if you're gonna have an outdoor amusement, you have to have a landscape buffer.
yes,
And landscape buffer would be trees and et cetera to
right.
dampen the noise, right?
That is correct.
Okay, now what's the third one?
Third one is they have to have a master signage plan, which is consistent with the
Signage.
a signage plan. I don't know that they're proposing any additional sign. If they were, that would still have to go through a sign permit application too.
Okay. You want to touch on the engineer? What did you say about the engineer?
Yeah,
plan?
engineering work was the only reviewer that had some substantial comments, but like I said, it would be reviewed with a development order proposal. They had concern regarding the parking layout being so close to State Highway 81 and the ingress egress driveway connection. So there is a little bit of a safety concern, so that would be part of that DO review.
The engineer would be the engineer for the county or their engineer? What engineer was that?
That was our engineer for Andrea Ward for the county.
Okay. Any other comments you'd like to add?
Yes,
fine.
I did not have any public comment, aside from the phone call I did receive this afternoon, and that was a neighboring property. They really were just asking general questions, but then did have some concern about the noise, and like I said, with engineering, had some concern with the safety of that access.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure you come back, right?
I will.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, for just to add to what Rosanna just done, she's done a great presentation, but I think it's important to point out that a conditional use is something that, I mean, it's a use that's allowed, but it's not obviously by right, because you have to meet those certain conditions. Those are the minimum conditions. So as Rosanna pointed out, there's still a development order that will be required. So we can't move a development order forward unless this board says we're gonna accept this as an allowable use. I don't think that there's anything wrong with you adding additional conditions other than those three, but they have to meet those three. If you don't add additional conditions, when it gets to the development order phase, our staff will be tasked with making sure that any conditions that you impose are met, and then they're gonna have to comply with all of the standards in the land development code. So that's when we will dig in deep to traffic, parking, landscaping, signage, anything that's not addressed under the conditional use, or again, to repeat myself, the extra conditions that you might impose as a board. Does that clarify a little bit?
The main thing is that my understanding to clarity is that this is a use that is allowed in that general agriculture, provided that it meets the three that is met. Is that correct?
Well, they have to have approval of a conditional use application.
But this
So
is-
it's not allowed, like I couldn't come in and say, hey, planning staff, here's the proof that I meet these three conditions, and we can say, okay, your use is approved. It has to come through this process, and they have to prove that they meet those conditions at a minimum. But we'll hit the main development criteria at the development order phase if you all agree that the use is allowable in the general ag district. Does that help clarify a little
Think
bit?
so. Jeff, do you have
Okay.
any questions?
Well, this used to be the Red Bay Grocery,
Yes,
and it had, I believe they served alcohol there.
they
and
did.
Fried chicken and whatnot.
Great hamburgers.
They also had the parking lot in the right-of-way. I guess that
That-
right-of-way was widened because it looks like the entire building is in the right-of-way.
I can't speak to that, so, yeah.
So, we're not talking about the restaurant and bar. That is okay. It's the entertainment venue located behind it,
You're right.
and then correcting the new bike parking that's located too close to the highway and the right-of-way.
Yeah, again, and unless you add imposed conditions related to that or anything else, then we're gonna address that at the development order phase.
But we're not, are we, Jeff, I'm asking, we're not here to discuss the parking? Are we here to discuss the parking?
I mean, I would let our legal,
It's
our
not part
legal
of the
folks,
We're here to discuss the conditional
the
use.
use. I mean,
Is
if-
it allowed within this use?
if you feel that there's something that's a life safety issue and you want to approve additional conditions, I don't see anything wrong with that. But if you don't, then we are definitely going to address that through the development order process.
So we don't need to do that as part of this process.
We will definitely
Y'all will
address it
handle that.
at that point, yes. And so, once they get their development order, you know, and they go for their pre-construction meeting, if there are any state permits required, like if DOT says, you know, you're adding parking, you're adding a use, you gotta get a driveway permit, then we're gonna make sure that that permit is in place. It's been issued, which means it's been approved, and it's presented to the development order inspector before they can do anything else. So there are a lot of checks and balances that come into place, but none of that can occur unless you approve the actual use.
In your development order, they will have to get a DOT permit. Is that what you
Well, DOT will be provided the opportunity to provide comments, and if they say that a new you know, because of changes or for whatever reason that a permit's required, then our development order inspector is going to get that at the pre-construction
But if
meeting.
this is a use that's been in existence, then DOT can't come in and say that you have to have a driveway permit.
I'm not going to speak for DOT because I don't know the scope of how long it's been there, what the changes are going to be, but that is an issue we'll dig into at the development order phase. And they won't get their development order unless they comply with that. So if DOT comes back and says you're going to have to make improvements, then that's going to have to happen as part of the development order process.
Any questions, Chris? Y'all have any questions? Margaret?
Not right now, no.
Okay, thank you all.
Who's here to speak for, are you here to present, who's here to present this? This is our process. We're gonna let the applicant present their case to us. We're gonna let the applicant, he's gonna be your spokesperson. When he gets through speaking, then we're gonna start letting everyone in the audit speak. You will be second, fair enough? You'll be second. And then we're gonna listen to everybody that's for it. We're gonna listen to everybody that's against it. And then we're gonna give him the final say-so at the end of it to address anything that he might have picked up on during the meeting. But I promise you will get to speak. I know, but we have a process, and we have to do this process. And if you speak, you have to go on the record. Sir, come up and state your name for the record.
My name is Greg Warwick. I'm here for the Hideout.
Spell it.
W-A-R-W-E-G.
Greg.
Yep, Greg. Just to answer a couple questions, DOT came out there already, and what we did was we moved some of the bike parking that was too close to the road. We moved it back to 55 feet where they said we were grandfathered into. When we opened the place, we got a beer and wine license only, and to get that license, we changed the zoning to commercial. So the land is agricultural, but the restaurant is zoned for commercial. Okay.
Hang on a
Did
second.
they make you break that out as a separate lot?
As far as we just leased the front acre, but there's 79 acres, you know, behind us. So as far as we're just responsible for that, just that open area right there, that acre right there. The parking lot was there ahead of time. We did make it nicer. Along the road, there was nothing but ruts, and it was just unsafe for everybody.
Well, let's take is this commercial use or is this agricultural use?
This is agriculture use. I'm wondering if the liquor license itself, beer and wine
Yeah, we went
license
through,
itself is
Sir?
for commercial use.
Why don't you come on up since you're the property?
It's not actually,
It took a while to get our license because we had to
Okay,
wait for
just
the
hang on a
zoning to
minute.
go
You
through.
own the property.
Yes, sir. My name is Galen Waddell. My mother is the owner.
Mr.
of
Waddell,
it.
Could we get you to speak into the microphone? I'm sorry to ask, but these, I mean, you can go there if you want to grab the seat. Just that these meetings are recorded and some people watch from the public.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's almost impossible to hear if you don't have a
I
microphone.
understand.
So we
I
appreciate you.
thought I could talk loud enough.
First thing we want to know is, did you go through a zoning change? Is this commercial or is this agricultural use?
I haven't known of any change in, but the front of the store has been a store since 1935 when Grandpa Russian built that.
Okay, and you said it's a commercial use.
That is the commercial use, and
But
they
is it a
only.
commercial zoning? Is it a commercial zoning?
Or I couldn't. That'd be.
When we got our beer license, the guy that helped us do it, we had a guy help us with, he's a
Gil?
liquor lawyer, Gil. Everybody knows Gil. But it took us a while to get our license because we had to wait for the zoning to get changed, I guess, and they said it never had to do it in the past.
Hang on a minute.
But since we've been there, all of a sudden, we get hit with all this.
Hang on a minute.
I think,
extra stuff.
let me clarify on that. The use is general commercial. It's been general commercial, but I think the existing use was commercial. That establishment, it was operating as commercial
On
So,
an agricultural.
on the agricultural zoning. Yes,
Still agricultural zoning.
it's still agricultural zoning, general agriculture.
That I had in Argyle, it was commercial, but it was because it got grandfathered in, because it had been used for all these years. They called it something, and I can't remember the exact language.
Go ahead with your testimony.
Okay, I'd just like to say that in the years past, there's been a lot of music going on there. We've had music there for the last 2 years, haven't had any complaints. We keep the sound down. There's a fence behind us, a fence in front of us. There's trees all around. Our neighbors all depend on us to be there. They come over there, we have 5-star food. A lot of,
What kind of music do you have?
we do country and classic rock, and we don't start till after church. It's 12:30 to 4:30 typically.
Is it just one day a week?
Just Saturday and Sundays, and
Days a week?
to be honest, half the time we don't have music because it all depends on the weather.
12:30 to 4?
12:30 to 4:30 is when
Is it outside bands?
Yeah, outside. And also I want to say about safety, I regularly stand out front because that road, there's a lot of, everybody's speeding down that road. It should be 45, there should be no passing there. But there's people going 90 going by there. So we stand out front all the time. We help everybody get in and out safe, and we've got plenty of parking in the back. I had the fire marshal down there, and he okayed everything and said that we got plenty of room, plenty of parking. The first complaint we had was a realtor complained because they were trying to sell a house to some people that now are our customers. And there was too many cars parking on the road. So we put an end to that, and we talked to our compliance officer, Drew, and then we opened up because of Galen here. We got more land in the back. We just cleared out a little bit better for the cars to go. So if anybody tries to park up front, we get rid of them right away. We tell them you have to pull inside the lot, and we don't let anybody park on the road at all.
This is an established commercial use that's been there for many, many years.
Many years.
And you've been operating this use for 2 years, you said?
Yep, just over 2 years.
2 years. and
Yeah,
you've
we're
been
the only people that have made this place work in all these years.
And
that
you
everything's
serve
going.
food and,
Yes, sir.
and you started offering entertainment.
Yeah,
Have
we,
you always offered entertainment?
yes.
So
Yeah.
you have a live band for the last 2 years that
Yeah.
play from 12:30 to 4, and that's it.
Yeah, and we've never had any problems. We close at 8 o'clock. The thing about this place is, it's all people that are veterans, they're 55 plus, they come out there. We have a good time for a few hours, and before dark, everybody's gone.
Do you drink? Do you serve liquor?
Well, it's beer and wine only.
Beer and wine only?
Yeah, so,
Okay.
the main thing is everybody that comes out there eats, because we have the best food in the whole panhandle. And you could even check our Google, we're 5 stars, you know.
Okay.
But if we don't have the music, the people are not gonna come. We've paid $60,000 in taxes in the last 2 years. Now, that will probably go down to half of that if we don't have music, because people depend on that. Whether it's bad weather or not, if it's bad weather, we don't get people coming out. If it's good weather, we'll get a lot of people and we can make some money for a day. But typically we're out there, it's me and my brother. We're sitting out there, we got a few people for lunch, a couple people for dinner, and some pickup orders from people that live in the neighborhood. And that's all the business we have. So if we don't have this music, I give us 6 months, you know? And we want to pay you guys all that tax money. We want to pay you $120,000 in the next 2 years. But we can't do that if we don't have the capability to at least offer some music to people. And we're not, like I said, we don't have any complaints. We keep it down. I make sure personally, I'm a musician myself. I stand out there and I let the bands know we can't have it so loud, you know, and I regulate that very well.
Got a question, Joe?
Also, we're open during, if there's a hurricane threat or storms, we're open. And the neighbors depend on us to be out there for that. Like I said, we do traffic control, we park everybody. We even have a tow company that helps us out if somebody drinks too much. We're really good at watching all the bikers. We don't let anybody drive if they've been drinking too much. We watch them real close. And mostly, like I said, it's all 55 plus veterans that come out there. And nobody's getting out of hand. We have not had one single problem with anybody out there because everybody just loves the place so much. I mean, every weekend, if you could see how many people come up to me and thank me for having this place because they have some place to go. And they feel like a big family out there. And that's what this whole business is about. It's all about family, friends. And another thing is we support, we've raised a lot of money for Toys for Tots. We're a major hub for that. We collect a lot of toys. We raise money for a lot of families. Anybody that gets hurt, we're constantly doing benefits for them. So we're trying to do nothing but good for this community. We're trying to do everything by the book. We have an engineer that we hired. We didn't know about a lot of things, you know, going into this. I've had restaurants in the past, but I never had to deal with all this permits and all this stuff. And we did the right thing. We hired an engineer right away. Dean Burgess is our engineer. He's working on everything for us. The properties out there are so messed up. It took us 1.5 years just to get the survey. Otherwise, I would have been sitting up here a lot sooner than this because the properties are that messed up.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
It appeared that, tell me where your music. Do you play in the rear of the building?
I have a map here if you want to look at it.
Do you play facing the woods? Do you play facing the road?
As you can see right here, sir, here's the restaurant and this is the highway.
Yes,
the stage is way back here. There's a fence here. There's a fence here, and then this is 80 acres of nothing.
Right.
Okay.
So the majority of your establishment is not on the 80 acres. It's on just.
It's
a few
just
acres.
right here.
Okay.
This is where everybody hangs out. Now, what I can propose to make you guys happy, if we have to, we could put in a fence right here, but that would cover the parking lot, and then wouldn't be able to see the people coming in and stuff. So it might propose more a safety issue.
Which way is the stage facing?
It faces like kitty corner.
Sound going.
Yeah, it's going out here. There's a house back here and back here, and they love us. They put a gate in their fence because they come over all the time. They like the music. They love the food.
And
And
what's to the north of you?
Yeah, the north, there's 2 houses here. This one's vacant. The one next to us, he's also one of our friends and customers, comes over all the time. And yeah, he just moved in like a year ago. And then the guy across the street, Raymond, he's deaf. Uncle Raymond's deaf.
Uncle Raymond's
So-
hard of hearing anyway, sir, so he
Just one at a time now, one at a time.
So he's never had a complaint. We've never had a complaint about the noise. We just had one unruly real estate agent that was trying to sell property way up the road and didn't like that we had all the cars on the road, and I can see that, you know, because it is a right-of-way out there. And so we do not let them do that anymore. I went over, I talked with Jew many times about that, and we took care of that problem right away. And
Well, the main thing we need to concentrate on, according to one of the items you have to satisfy, is a landscape buffer.
Yeah, I think, we have that with this fence behind the stage.
Fence or landscape buffer? Fence is not considered a landscape buffer.
I think
Yeah,
we should let the planning department.
yeah, like I said, we have, Dean
Specifics.
Burgess.
Well, we gotta do the landscape, this is part of the.
I think we should just keep it to the conditional use
Well, that's
and
what I
let
mean,
the
that's what-
development order from the county.
It's one of the.
Yeah, we're
I just
paying,
asked her 'cause she said it's one of the three.
We're paying $20,000-$30,000 for the DO, you know, just to get this done, because we have to pay an engineer and we have to pay for other stuff.
She
and
said the landscape.
We've had to take out a loan to do that, because we're just trying to do things right, and we're just trying to make a living. We're not making a bunch of money out there.
Hang on a minute. She said one of the three things was the landscape.
Right, but they will, once they get a conditional use approval from us, then they still have to go through the development order process with the planning department, and they'll decide what
What they need from us, yeah.
specific needs of the parking and the landscape buffer. So if we get too hung up in all of that, then I think we should
I
just
got it.
focus
I got it.
on the conditional use.
You convinced me. I disagree, but I got it.
And just as a precaution, like Kelly said, if it is a condition of the conditional use that that landscape buffer is provided, you know, just as a extra precaution, but I mean, it would be required as part of the development order either way.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever we have to do, we'll do, just because we want to stay in business. A lot of people are dependent on us. I made a post this morning, and we got 31,000 views. We have 12,000 followers. I have a lot of signatures from the neighbors, and
Can we enter those, Mr. Hayward?
yeah. Yeah. These are just some signatures, and then in this one here is like the people that live in the
Can we
neighborhood
have that in the
who
record?
wrote, you know,
Do we need to make a copy for them, Mr. Hayward?
If you wanna give us the originals, I mean, we'll take the originals, but do you want a copy? We'd have to have a copy made. Well, we're gonna keep it for our stuff.
Take your phone and make a copy.
Well, it's.
Wait, hang on a minute. Just hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. What we would do, we're gonna take and enter this into the record.
Okay.
And then we will get Karen to make a copy for you that you can pick up. Is that fair enough, Karen? That you can have a copy
fine.
of it? Fair
and
enough?
you know, sir, I didn't want to go overboard with
Hang
that.
on a minute.
We'll make that, composite applicant exhibit A. So all of it
And
together.
I didn't want to go overboard with that, but realistically, I could have went online and did it and got 100,000, you know what I mean? Because people love us, we're nationwide, you know? And a lot of people are dependent on us. I mean, I could have went and did one online and probably got more than that in half a day. But I just put this out, actually last year, when we were trying to first apply for this. But it just took so long to get the surveys, everything kind of, you know, I want to move on with my business. I'm afraid to advertise because I don't know if you guys are going to come shut me down. I'm afraid to do anything, you know, and everybody knows me. I'm the best advertiser around here. I do videos all the time. I mean, I'm famous out there. People know me from all around. And I want to be able to do that 100% and not hold back. And so far, it's been 2 years of holding back because I don't know what's going on. And I've been trying my best. Me and my brother, we work 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, just to make this work out. We're just trying to make it
You have
work.
no problem with a 12 o'clock to 4:30 time period?
What's that?
You have no problem in a 12:30 to 4 o'clock time
No,
period?
no, not at all. Because that's when we're busy. People come out for lunch after church and stuff
On
like that.
Saturdays and Sundays?
Yep. And a lot of Saturdays, we don't have a band. Just depends, like in the wintertime, spring, there's not as much traffic. So we just It seems like Sunday's the day where everybody comes out and they hang out, they just love the place. I mean, they physically grab me, shake me, and say, thank you, we have a place to go. There's nowhere for all these people to go. We're the only place out there, you know.
Anyone has any questions? Have a seat up front, both of you. Well, you can say.
Chairman, I was gonna tell you, the 78 or 79 acres behind the acre of the store, that's not involved in just the store. That's where it's all woods. Nothing's back there but woods all the way to the First American Farm. I hunt back there every weekend, and the music's, I can hear it in the deer stand really, really low, but it doesn't affect any of the animals back there because I watch them play and do their little thing. So it's very, keeps it between church times. It's Sundays, it's after 12 and before 5 o'clock, it's all shut down. They might sit around there. When I walk out of the woods at dark, everybody is sitting around the fire, chilling out, 4 or 5 of them, then they roll out and go home. So it's very, very kind of a quiet thing in the afternoon.
Y'all sit down up front. Who else from the audience would like to speak? Come up. The lady back there, she had her hand up first. Come on up. State your name for the record.
I'm Linda Kilmer. I live a quarter of a mile from the Hideout. Any noise I would hear, but I don't hear it. It's very low if I do hear it. It doesn't disturb my animals, doesn't disturb the babies sleeping in the house. It's very low key. Quarter of a mile, I would hear heavy rock and roll. I have a lot of admiration for these guys, with the charities that they do, Toys for Tots, the things they do for the veterans, how they bring the community together. I love it. The food is delicious. I'm a widow. They look over me. They know me. I went up there immediately and introduced myself as their neighbor. The bikers, they know me. They watch out for me. I love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So please vote in their favor.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir. Name for the record.
Hi, my name's Steve Hilliard. We live a couple miles south of where the store is. We moved out here in 2008, so we've seen some of the changes. And those of us that live north of the bay, we don't have a lot of options, particularly the further north that you get. And this has turned out to be a really good option for us. The issues that you heard about, the traffic problems, remember that? Yep. And they really did take care of it right away. There was an issue. There were some cars that were parking, on the side of the road, and it got cleaned up. Has never been that I've seen, and I come up to Defuniak Springs for church every Sunday. And on my way home, they've got a good crowd, and that, all those traffic things are gone. They've done a beautiful job in terms of renovating the inside. The food is good. They do get a good sized crowd. Never seen an issue there. Everybody seems to be welcome. It's not I don't care if who it is, just come on in, have a good time. So we would like to have, continue to have that. I know it's not on your list for today. I just want to throw out this landscaping thing. I mean, they're surrounded by trees. We had a lot of trees up here, and if you go by that space, anybody that's familiar with it, if there's more landscaping put out front, you're not going to see the building, and you're going to block the entrance to their parking area, which they have done, a good job of pushing cars way in the back. Thank you, appreciate it, and we hope to be able to continue to go up there and grab a bite to eat.
Thank you. Thank you. Who else?
Thank you, boys.
Anyone else? Come up, state your name for the record.
My name is Elizabeth Schmitz, and I come from actually out of the county, over by Chipley. And I know Sundays come along, and me and my husband want to jump on the bikes or in the hot rod, and we're like, where to go? We always have the same place because there's nowhere else to go. When he said there really is nowhere else, there isn't. One thing bikers don't want to do is hit that Panama area with those traffic. You don't want us down there with all that traffic. It just causes more of a headache. I am not a very experienced motorcycle driver. I have never had a problem getting in and out of their parking lot at all. We go out there, we have a good time, we sit right there in front of the band stage and have a conversation with everybody that's there. The music is not even loud enough to interfere with our conversations. These people are doing really good activities by Toys for Tots. When something happens in the community, they're doing benefits to help family members that have lost a significant other or houses burned down. They're not gonna be able to do that without a stage. People don't wanna go out and just sit. They want that music, they want that entertainment. They're not harming anybody, and I just wanna let you know how much it means to me to have a place to go.
Thank you very much for coming. Who else? Come up and state your name for the record.
Holly Hilliard, and we, as Steve said, we live just a few miles south of there. But when it was the Red Bay Grocery, it was very well supported by the community, and the speed limit was 45 then. So it had been 55, was reduced to 45 for safety issues when that restaurant was open, and then at some point it got increased again to 55. There's no reason why it can't be 45 through there. And I think it would address your safety issues. And we mentioned the landscape buffer. Again, there's a lot of trees there. And we went through that a while back with the county about a landscape buffer. When there's that many trees, it muffles the sound. So anybody on either side, on three sides of that, well, on all four sides, because across the street is trees. So there's really a huge buffer there already. And we go by there a lot when there's good crowds there, and there's never been a problem. We've never seen an issue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State your name.
Philip Cryer, C-R-Y-A-R. And I drive all the way from Great Beach to go hang out there. I've got friends that come from Callaway, Pensacola. This is how far people are willing to come to enjoy this establishment. Like Cole said, they have good music. It's not too loud. They have the best food. I eat it all the time. Get to hang out with my friends. Like I said, there's a lot of veterans, men, women. They do a lot of stuff for the community. And there's always a bucket somewhere around there for somebody that's gotten hurt on a job, a child sick. They're always collecting money, and they're always pouring into more than they're receiving. I just want to let y'all know that.
Thank you.
Is there anybody that's here against it?
Record.
I'm Lori Hilgenberg, and I'm personal friends with Todd and Cole, and I had the pleasure of seeing this grow from when they first got the key to the place. And I also know that prior to that, when it was Red Bay Market, they did have live bands there. I had the opportunity to go there. The only difference now is that they've got a stage, and they've actually moved where the bands were, because before that, the bands were closer to the street. And it was run down. These guys did a wonderful job renovating. They're trying to do everything the right way and do it right. What they've done is they've created a family. You know, they brought everybody together, and it would be a shame to see that everything they've worked so hard for over these years to be, you know, torn down.
Thank you. All right, this is what we're going to do. How many people here is for this? Raise your hand. Thank you.
Hang on, I gotta get a picture of that.
All right.
Take a
You
picture.
can. Are there anyone here who wants to speak against this?
Does anybody dare to speak?
Take another picture.
Sir, you have the last say. You want to add anything?
Oh, yeah. First, thank you for the opportunity, and I want to thank everybody here that comes here. I mean, I almost got tears in my eyes because people do care about this place a lot, and me and my brother care about it a lot, and we care about all these people. And it is a family place. It really is. If you were to come out there, you would see that. And I hope you could give us a chance to keep this thing going.
Did you
and
bribe-
all we need is a little music.
Did you bribe them to come with free food? Or
No, I
something? Have a seat.
All right.
Have a seat.
Can I come up here?
At-
Can I
you wanna,
Good question, sir.
Can I have the last word?
yes,
Sorry.
you can have the last word.
I just want to make sure a few things were clear on the record. We're looking at operating, hours, Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 4:30.
Right.
And we're also limiting development potentially around the existing restaurant and the existing stage. So we're not talking about 79 acres. We're just talking about the area up front by the roadway. And I also wanted to point out in your packet, there were some photos. It's got the fence location towards the end of the packet there, and you can see the fence, and there are plenty of mature trees already existing. So if we need to supplement that during DO, we can, but it looks like it's still pretty vegetated in the area along the fence lines and even around the stage. So
There's a survey in the packet. Is that supposed to be the 1 acre that's actually leased or no?
that is, the survey is a little bit hard to read here. I think it's the area where the stage is. It's kind of in that blue little area. It's
Yeah,
just
my
area.
question is that just to show where the improvements have been made, or is that to show the 1 acre? Because
I think
it's
that's just where
testimony
the improvements, if I'm not mistaken.
is the
that
lease,
area up
but there's a
front.
1 acre lease, is my understanding.
Yeah, 1 acre lease.
Just go around the store, yes, sir.
Okay, so that would be what you're looking at then, that
So
area.
if the board did decide to vote for a conditional use, staff's request is that it be contained to what's in this blue box.
Correct.
Okay.
And the survey is showing that the blue box cuts through the middle of the stage. I don't really understand if the survey's accurate.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it took 1.5 years to get the surveys done. They're saying that, that's part of the right of way over there. Actually, they're saying it goes halfway through the driveway of the neighbors too. So like everything is so messed up there. The first company we hired said that whole property next to ours was in the opposite corner. So they couldn't approve the survey. So everything is really messed up out there.
Yeah, I mean, the building itself is in the right of way for Highway 81.
Well, it's been grandfathered at,
Right.
55 feet
Sure.
from the center line. So.
I just had a meeting with Brian with the state DOT when Cohen was trying to do the front parking lot, and they had stripes within about 35 feet by the highway. Me and Mr. Brian, back in 1935, when great-grandfather bought this store, that was a dirt road. Is how me and Mr. Brian figured this out, that I had just, somehow, the state had bought that little bitty piece of 50 feet right there on the highway. I just bought that 50 feet back from the state, 200 feet right away, because state was showing that it cut right through the middle of the store. That was state property. And I was showing back taxes all the way till 1935 that Grandpa paid it 2 to 20 feet. So now we have problems. So me and Mr. Bryan got together and had a meeting and figured all of this out. And there's a 25 feet of right of way because Mr. Bryan is null and void the state regulation for the store, because we can't move the store, can't move the highway. So we had that meeting, and when he seen the stripes, he asked for all them stripes to be removed. Cole went right out there and done it immediately before Mr. Bryan even had a crew to come out there and make sure it was all done. So
We want to know that the blue area is
Let me see the-
satisfactory for you
It's saying,
to make a part of this final
okay.
declaration that we're gonna make.
Yeah, he's saying that there, but that's not the way they marked it.
Yeah, you can see that
When
the
the
stage,
landscapers marked it, yeah. On
Stage
this,
is cut.
it's saying the stage is just hitting the easement a little bit. And it also says that, it goes halfway over the driveway next door, which is, how can that be? And like one company says there's no easement there.
Let me ask a
Another
question.
company says there is.
Let me ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
You have 79 acres in the back of this. Are there two parcels? Do you have
Yeah,
two?
he owns both of
yeah,
them.
the first parcel is grandfather's house that's next door to it, as you see that little square.
Is this restaurant and improvements on that one parcel?
Is the restaurant improved?
Is it on that parcel that?
No, the house is all by itself in that 1 acre.
Okay.
The store is on the other 79 acre parcel.
Other 79 acres.
Yeah, that is the 79 acres that they rent the acre up front, the store that Daddy and Grandpa's all let them rent. And this survey was, there was a neighbor that moved in. I was in the Army back then, and come home one time and Grandpa was furious about another neighbor had bought property and had it surveyed, and the survey was wrong. At that time, the house that's next to Grandfather's house that's there, Oweda and Keith, they lived there, and Keith had to quitclaim Grandpa that little acre because somehow the survey cut Grandpa's house out.
What we're trying to get to, I think Mr. Dice is trying to figure out how we can attach this to the decision that this board's gonna make. And what you're saying is the item in the blue is not correct.
No, sir. It shaves right, probably 10 feet behind the stage, and it goes right, like a drive behind the store. There used to be a drive that we went into the woods back there behind the store, because that was all woods where the stage and all that is now. That was all woods.
And the flags that the survey company put up, they didn't put it there, they put it like, it's like 20, 30 feet away from the stage.
And there is a white picket fence blocking the stage from Grandfather's old house that I'm remodeling.
Yeah, when I look at this is all one big parcel.
Right.
Yes.
The blue area is completely arbitrary and doesn't seem to relate to anything.
Yeah, I don't know what that blue area would
So
even.
what, we can list this as, Mr. Hayward, can we list this as a parcel number, list the parcel number in that area that's improved with the store and the improvements? Would that be sufficient?
If the board wants to go in that direction, to your point, I was trying to find out if you could, based on whatever order, assuming it was approved, we could use this to kind of limit. Doesn't seem like it's a accurate representation of the area, and the area is improved. So yeah, we would, I think overall the concern would be if you did the conditional use and it applied to the 73 acres, you could go out there and start putting up all sorts of stuff, right?
Exactly, that's
So-
why I wanted to make sure you understood it was just that acre.
And I think the board's sensitive to that and wants to make sure that if there is an approval, that it's limited to just the areas.
I won't let that happen, I hunt back there.
Right, but we're trying to find something substantive that we could point to. and
So
say,
1 acre is leased, so we could limit the ruling to just that 1 acre that's leased.
I'm afraid that the lease area is more than what shows up on the cleared area. Is that not correct?
Yeah, I don't think this is 1 acre, but I mean.
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
agree with you. I don't think this
survey
picture
map
can
does
be
not do that
used.
All right, what we're gonna do is this, we're gonna take and put the parcel ID number, and we're gonna take and say that that area that is improved for the store, that is improved for the restaurant, and the stage area is an area that could be used for this conditional use.
Yes.
Mr. Dice, are you good with that language?
Mr. Chairman, I would suggest adding in the currently improved.
Yes, yes.
Right, so they wouldn't be able to expand the improvements into the rest of the parcel.
Right.
We got it a wind roll up there with woods, and I have a gate on the fence.
We're good.
Yes, okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
I have a question. Sounds like a wonderful thing, and you've got a lot of support here, which is really wonderful. I just had one question about the engineer's comments about the egress and ingress.
But that is not for us to consider.
Right, so, but I just want to, you will, with the development order, that will be taken care of. And that, because this says it's potential safety risk. So that's the only thing that,
Yes, engineering will have to review the improvements on the site
And they'll
for safety.
take care of it so that it's not a safety
And make
risk.
whatever recommendations they need to ensure it's safe.
Okay.
Motion to close at public discussion.
Motion to close public discussion.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion
I will make a motion to grant them the conditional use for the restaurant and the outdoor entertainment venue to continue in its current configuration.
Hours.
Pardon?
Hours of operation.
Do we need to stipulate the hours of operation?
Yes.
What, so
I think they stipulated that in the application, right?
they were self-imposed a 12:30 to
12 to 5 is what
12
I
to 5.
put.
We closed it to public discussion, and what they said was that they agreed to do it from 12:30 to 4. If you do not, then that opens it up. They could do it to 10 or 12 or whatever, but they agreed to do it. And to keep harmony in the community that they agreed to, I would just recommend that it be part of the motion.
Yeah, what we do is 12 to 4, and then until, when the time changes,
Discussion,
12:30.
Sir, I don't mean to be rude, but we closed it to public discussion, and we got to make this decision.
I would say if we have to limit the hours for the outdoor entertainment venue, that we do 12 to 6. That way they have some flexibility. And then they have to go through the development order process and the remaining issues of the right-of-way concerns for safety and any additional landscape buffering. And there was a third item that they had brought up. All of those things will be addressed by the planning department, and this is just giving them permission to move forward to work with Mr. Burgess on getting a development order.
That's the motion. We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Paul?
I'd like the county.
Hang on a minute. Chris?
None.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that we had a similar situation where the Iron Horse Brewery is over there in Portland area, where the Golden Horses are.
Oh, you're talking about the,
We granted them a horsepower pavilion, and they had come to us for a conditional use to be able to have that facility, and it was granted. So I feel it would be somewhat hypocritical for us to deny this very similar situation.
I'd like to just add a recommendation that I believe there's a ton of trees out there, and that if the county could be as lenient as possible with the landscaping, it'd be appreciated. That's all I got. I think it's a good thing for the county.
I think it's a great, I mean, it has so much support, which is wonderful to see, so. Yeah.
we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? You got your conditional use.
Yeah. I think it's nice. It sounds like a nice place.
Aye.
Can you spell your name for Karen? She needs it for the record.
Thank you all.
I know, I was like, I almost started something for that one lady. Yep.
Maybe they could do the hugging outside.
We have some other business we gotta take care of. We don't wanna be rude, but we appreciate it, y'all.
Thank you, everybody.
We out here.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, ladies.
Next item on the agenda is number 7, Bixenmann. Who's here to present that? Project number variance request, Ayanna Reed.
Okay.
So Ms. Reed,
Bixenmann.
Bixenmann. Who's here for this one?
Yes, me. Hi, Ayanna Reed, Planning and Development. So Bixenmann Variance, this is a request to approve by final order. Project number VAR 25000037. This is a variance application submitted by Grand Bay Constructions on behalf of Leslie Bixenmann, requesting a variance for a 4-foot rear setback, a 1-foot side setback for the garage and garden structure, 5-foot setback on the east side, and a 2-foot overhang encroachment on 0.13 plus or minus acres with a future land use of residential and a zoning category of residential preservation. The property is located in District 5 at the north side of White Cliffs Lane, east of White Cliffs Boulevard, and west of West County Highway 30A, and is identified by the parcel number in your staff report. May I enter the staff report into the record?
So entered.
Okay, so a little bit of
I would like to listen to the applicant first, and then we
Okay.
do the planning, if you don't mind. Who's here for the applicant? Somebody needs to step up and present your case. State your name for the record.
Yes, my name's Rusty Rogers. I'm with Grand Bay Construction.
Okay,
on
Mr.
behalf-
Rogers, we always give the applicant the first, and I would like to keep that in order, so give us why we should take and grant the variance.
Yes, what we're submitting to is White Cliff has its own guidelines, design guidelines. Each individual lot in White Cliff has been required to seek variances on each particular lot, since there was not a blanket variance done for the neighborhood. So each lot is required to seek this variance, which has been granted to many homeowners in the area. So what we're seeking is on the setbacks. Let me put to the right page here, I apologize. The setbacks, for one, the garage in White Cliff is required to be 40 foot off the road. All right, so it has to be in the back rear part of the lot. So we're requesting, they allow for a 1-foot side setback. We have a 1'6". They're also requiring the primary residence, you can have 15 foot on the front, 5.5 on the sides. Outbuildings have to be 40 foot off of the road. They can be 4 foot from the rear. Garden structure, the same. They have to be 6 foot from the front, 4 foot from the side, and 4 foot from the rear. We're seeking those variances to meet the neighborhood guidelines, and also patios have to be 15 foot, and they can actually have a 0 foot side and a 0 foot rear. So we're seeking that variance for the use of the land to be able to have the 1 foot setback on the garage, the 40-foot setback, for the garage. We also are seeking, they allow in the neighborhood a 3-foot overhang for the roof structure. We've got several locations on there that are going to be encroaching 24 inches, which exceeds the 18 inches that the county typically requires maximum. So those are the variances that we're seeking to be able to meet the guidelines that the White Cliffs neighborhood has established versus the county standard. But we have, through our research, we know that many, I don't want to say a majority because I don't know the exact numbers, but these variances have been granted for many of the lot owners in the neighborhood.
What you ask them for is that instead of abiding by the county setbacks, you're asking to abide by the homeowners association guidelines that has been accepted. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the OR booking page on those? Does the planning staff have the OR booking page? Because we need to make
Yes, I
that
do.
reference to. You do have the OR booking page?
I have to get my glasses on so I can see here. This is the recorded, page 1 of 22, recorded 5/24/2018. Let's see, it is book 3074, page 2839.
That's the recording of the,
Guidelines for the White Cliffs Building Land Use Architecture Code.
Mr. Dice, you have that? All right, this is what we've done in the past.
Yes,
We've
sir.
always taken, and Jeff helped me out with this, but we have always taken the homeowners association guidelines and attached it to the final order, and that's what you're asking for, and no less. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So, any comments, any questions?
You're asking for a 2-foot setback encroachment for the roof overhangs. Obviously, the garage being 1 foot away from the property line would be an issue with the 2-foot overhang. So I'm assuming that the garage does not have a 2-foot overhang.
Right.
We don't have
I
drawings.
have
for the
Greg
rest.
here, the architect, if
Perfect.
I could ask him to come up and speak on that behalf, please.
State your name for the record.
Greg Jazzieri, Jazayeri. So to answer your question, yeah, that's why he set it off 18 inches. We do have, so it'll be right at the zero. I have an 18-inch overhang for the garage.
And it's required to have a gutter.
Not required. to have a
Stormwater
gutter.
master plan doesn't require gutters.
We are not putting gutters on the garage.
So how do you keep that water from dumping onto the next door neighbor's property?
We can, that's a good point. I mean, we could do the gutters. In that case, yeah, the gutters would overhang the
Okay.
property line.
You can make that part of the final order.
Yeah, we need to address that with the final order.
Any other questions for him?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, no, I guess these are for plans.
Okay. Have a seat, sir.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay, ma'am, it's your turn.
Yes.
Well, I think we pretty well understand this is something that we do on a regular basis, and we understand what he's asking for us. Go ahead, Margaret.
Okay, I know you always have questions, but, and they may be dumb questions, but, why does the design code for the development have setbacks? Oh, sorry. Why does the design, code for the development have setbacks that conflict with the LDC?
Oh.
Can I answer that?
Yeah, because I would not know the reason why White Cliff Design Code differs from LDC.
What happened to this, and when they started this development,
I know it's happened before, and
we always went along with what they proposed. And then in 2015, Mark Davis and Mr. Dice made a decision that they had to take and come to the board to ask for variances. But since from day one in 1990-91, whenever this subdivision was started, we've always granted them. So this is something, sometimes we can do a blanket, but we can't do a blanket because the property owners will not get together and hire a logger to do a blanket, so we do them as they present the bill.
The reason it conflicts with the LDC is it was all started and done before.
It predates the LDC.
right, I just think it kind of, it's a bad precedent to continue to allow, and if it's not built, another perhaps dumb question, but if it's not built, why can't they adhere to the setbacks?
So half the neighborhood was built with the original setbacks for the neighborhood. And so when they made that change, there were only a handful of lots left to be built on. And so they decided that they were no longer going to honor the design code and the setbacks for the neighborhood. I think the rest of the houses in the neighborhood should be developed consistently with all the other houses, so you don't have these properties that are burdened
Stand out.
by the change.
And there's no way, particularly, you know, that overhang, that can be addressed differently, that, you know, you're not right on that property line. It just seems that these lots are small, and do we want to, and the other question I had was about the impervious surface ratio. Does this impact the impervious surface ratio by allowing these setbacks to change?
No.
Okay.
You want to answer that?
Well, I mean, again,
Well, she just did.
they're still gonna have to conform with the county's, stormwater requirements.
Yeah, of course. And they'll still have to comply with whatever setbacks you decide to approve upon through the variance also. But there are no significant impacts to ISR.
I think we've already seen a dozen of these come through, so it would be pretty inconsistent for us to
I know.
stop doing it. But again, what he said was that they push the garages 40 feet back off the street, so they create a really unique streetscape where they minimize the impact of the garage, and that's why it's only the garage that's allowed to have that 1 foot setback to the side yard, and not the main house itself.
You good? Do you have any more questions?
No, no more questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Did we enter the staff report? You did enter the staff report, right? Okay. Anyone from the audience? Anyone has any comments, for or against? Sir, do you have anything to add? Have a motion to close the public discussion?
Motion to close public discussion.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion?
Make a motion that we approve the variance presented for the garage with the 4 foot setback from the rear, the 1 foot setback from the side, and the roof overhang request for the main house, but the garage roof needs to incorporate a gutter and roof overhang that does not encroach the neighbor's property line.
And attach the OR booking page.
And we need to attach the OR booking page of the design guidelines for White Cliffs.
Second,
I second it.
discussion?
We've got
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
You got your variance. Yes,
Sorry, we're,
too late.
notice something, well, I mean, I'm just a little bit concerned that there might need to be an additional variance considered in this that just came to our attention. Okay. And maybe it's something that is automatic with this development, I don't know, but it does appear that there's parking within the side yard setback that's not allowed under the current land development code.
I mean, you gotta have a driveway that goes back to that
They can have the
parking
driveway,
structure.
but the BPR folks are not gonna approve the parking there. So we can talk about it among ourselves. I'm sorry, I just wasn't sure. This just kind of.
It is, I apologize, it is addressed in the White Cliffs, in the reported here. It's addressed if we are approving the variance there. They require 2 parking spots in the design code for, White Cliffs. We have 3.
Also, this doesn't come up in the previous dozen or so that we've approved White Cliffs.
We can talk about it internally and figure out if this is something that we're gonna have to come back to you on. It
Otherwise,
just stood out to me whenever I was looking at it, and I apologize, we did not go through this together as a staff, and
Is
But
this
that
one
would
of
be
the?
a variance from our parking requirement, right? That you can't park in the side setbacks.
Yes, sir, that's
So
my
you would have to
concern.
notice that.
But
probably.
we essentially put the entire garage structure in the side setback. So the variance for the parking, I think for the garage structure would cover the driveway that's being used to access the garage.
I mean, I feel like it's gonna be okay in the garage, but there's a space shown outside of the garage that I believe that our BPR staff cannot approve without a variance. But let us regroup on it. We'll circle back and we'll be in touch with the applicant if we do need to come back
But
and
is
ask
this-
for a revision.
Is this part of the county that has changed the parking that is in 2018 or 2020? And this is
This-
going to affect a lot of property owners when you start enforcing it? And is it not, and you say it's not grandfathered in, but everybody built accordingly is in violation. So now then you saying if everything we've done before that was not, that this is not, language not in it.
This
Now you
appli- I'm
Put
sorry.
the language, there should be a grandfather clause in that somewhere.
I believe that there would be for those existing structures, but whenever a new construction happens, or if they were to redesign the property, I think that setback is gonna apply. So, I mean, again, I don't know of anything off the top of my
But
head that
when
would
you-
give
when
that
you adopt-
exception.
When you adopt the language from the
Covenants.
covenants, and we adopt those, does that not supersede the changes that y'all made?
I think only if there's a variance granted, just like with the setbacks.
But if the parking's covered in it, would that not be covered? If we grant a variance to the parking, the garage, and would that not be sufficient?
I mean, my off-the-cuff answer is that it would only be those spaces within the garage and not the spaces shown in the driveway. But, I mean, I know it's semantics, but I was just hoping we could capture it while we're already here, but since it wasn't noticed, then we might have an issue. We'll circle back as staff. We'll be in touch with our applicant.
I'm not so sure if it shouldn't be changed. Y'all should change that, because this is affecting a lot of these that
It
comes
is.
here.
It is.
A lot of times we're finding that everything that was prior to is in violation. And then they have to come for a variance. And if there was proof for it, then they shouldn't be in violation if the planning department changed the rules and regulations.
We just wanted this board to have job security.
I agree. Thank you for bringing it up.
No, sir, I don't mean to make light of it. It is a serious issue. Let us figure it out on our end. Again, I apologize that we didn't, I mean, Ayanna was kind of dropped this without any additional staff review, so that's a failure on our part. But we'll get our act together, and if we need to come back, then we'll do so. And we can work through this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
It's done. We're gonna move along. What's the next one on the agenda? Do what now?
Mr. Gallagher.
Did the motion.
Mr. Gallagher, I thought.
Yeah.
Correct.
That Margaret voted no.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Fine, I mean,
It's not fair.
Okay.
it's an interesting one. It's all good, it's all good. Okay, so, we on the next one here.
We're looking at the Florence Variance.
Yes, item number 8. This is a request to approve by final order, project number VAR 25000038. This is a variance application submitted by Mathews and Jones on behalf of Mitchell Florence, requesting a reduction to the north and south side setbacks from 7.5 feet to 0.5 feet, and a reduction to the rear setback from 15 feet to 12.9 feet on 0.175 plus or minus acres with a future land use of residential and a zoning category of neighborhood infill.
We will let Mr. Tatum present his request. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ayanna. For the record, Stephen Tatum here on behalf of Mitchell and Megan Florence, the applicants for this variance. As Ayanna said, this is a request for setback reductions for a pergola and a shed that are in the applicant's backyard. These were built by Mr. Florence under the presumption that anything under 600 square feet did not need a permit, which, as we know, applies north of the bay but not south of the bay. That's the reason that we are here today. Just for reference, the pergola itself is 122 square foot open air. I don't even understand why it can't be in the setback, honestly. I've never understood that.
Does it have a roof on it?
It does. It's got a covered roof, yeah. And then the shed is an 84 square foot, roughly 8 by 10, with a few inches on each side of that. Both of them sit in the side setbacks. The pergola is in the north side setback of this property. It's about a half foot off of the property line, off the north side. It does not encroach into the rear setback. The shed itself is on the south setback. It encroaches into that side setback also, all the way up to 1.5 foot. And also encroaches into the rear setback. I guess that would be 2.1 feet. So we're looking at a 12.9 foot setback in the rear instead of a 15-foot setback in the rear. So that's the variance request. A little bit about the applicant. Mitch and Megan are young professionals. They have 3 kids, a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. Mitch works primarily from home. They bought the house in 2023, and these structures were built like immediately upon their closing. They even had one of the contractors who had worked on the property help build the pergola area. Like I said, they believed at the time that no permit was required. At some point last year, sometime I think June time period, code enforcement shows up, says, hey, your pergola needs a permit. They come to code enforcement, or they come to planning department to get or building department to get a permit. When it gets reviewed by planning department, it's discovered that the pergola is in the setbacks, the shed is in the setbacks. There's a secondary wetland buffer on the property that encompasses the entire backyard all the way up into the house. Significant problems. They contacted me not long after that because they were told they needed to get a variance for these things. I had then contacted, put in for a pre-app request for a variance, a petition for variance. Met with Mr. Baranti. It became questionable whether or not you could even get a variance from the secondary wetland buffer impacts. So that went on for a couple of months trying to determine whether or not that was even allowed. Finally, it was determined that the code allowed Mr. Schoen, the planning director, to issue an exemption for the secondary wetland buffer for the structures because they were under a certain percentage. They were under 25% of the entire wetland buffer. So he issued that. We did receive that finally in November of this year. I made application for the variance in December. So it's been a long drawn out process. So just a little bit of the justifications. First, if you've reviewed the staff report, staff, although they don't say, they recommend a motion for approval, that they find no problems with our justifications that we have provided, unless somebody else presents evidence otherwise, which I'm certainly not going to do. It's a small lot. It's 0.175 acres. It's in a curve. The front of the lot is narrower than the back. The structure itself, the main house itself, is set off 20 feet from the front as it should be. It's pushed as close to the road as it can be in order to provide a backyard. But the backyard itself still is only 22.5 feet deep and 94 feet wide. However, there is also a 10-foot landscape buffer that is in that area. Now, luckily, we don't encroach into that with any of our structures, but that landscape buffer is about 944 square feet of the total backyard square footage, which is 2,123 square feet. So almost half of the entire backyard is a landscape buffer that can't be built in. And then you throw your setbacks in there. If you were to try to put any kind of structure in the backyard, meet your wetland buffer, meet your vegetative buffer, meet your side setbacks. You're pushing these right into the middle of the yard. It's completely unusable.
Mr. Tatum.
Yes, sir.
Where's the fence? Is the fence on the property line, or is it on the inside of the landscape buffer?
Let me look at the survey and see, because I don't know the answer to that.
It's inside the landscape buffer.
It looks like it's inside the landscape.
The fence would be on the back side of the landscape buffer.
You mean on the front side?
Well, I would say
Inside?
I'd say it's on the back side. So you've got
It's on the
let me
property
show you
line?
this. This survey is in your packet, but if you'd like me to pass it out, I can. It shows where the fence is.
Does not encroach. It doesn't encroach into the landscape buffer.
Right, it doesn't encroach into it. It is just on the back side of it.
I think we determined that you can fence to your property line, that the landscape buffer can be inside the fence line.
That has always been my understanding, even today with new development, although those buffers are supposed to be in common area now. So the center placement of, I call it center placement, that's essentially what you would have if you push these two structures to the middle of the yard and had the 7.5 foot setback on both sides. Renders the backyard unusable. Like I said, they've got 3 children, 3 young children. who will be, wanting to play in this backyard. And that was part of the reason why they were pushed to the sides. There are also, Mr. Florence was following the, I won't say the lead, but there are others in this immediate area that have the exact same setup in their backyard.
How did this get brought to the attention of code enforcement? Was there a complaint filed?
There was a complaint filed by a neighbor. I believe it was a neighbor who was actually in the abutting subdivision to the south. I will let Mr. Florence, I believe you spoke with him, right? Not right this minute, but if you want to hear from him now, I can bring him up as to his conversation with that particular owner.
Is that owner here?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, we can wait.
Okay, all right. Like I said, there are unique circumstances on this property. It's fairly small. It does have a nice sized house built on it. Because of the backyard, because of the setbacks, because of the buffer, we end up with an area that's very small for a backyard for a house like this and for children to play in. Also, the structures they cannot be seen from the roadway. Really, they can only be seen by the neighbors to the north and to the south. We have letters from them, and I believe they're even here in support of this variance request. The HOA also has approved it. I have some letters. I have the HOA approval letter, as well as 10 different letters of support in favor of the variance that I would like to give you. I'll bring those out in a minute. I want to keep in mind, this is an ordinary residential use. An outdoor deck pergola area. Everybody's got something like that in their backyard. Same thing with a small storage area, very common. We're not asking for anything unusual. We're not, it's not like these are large structures. 82 square feet for a work area shed is not, it's very minimal. It's a small impact to the entire area. And at the end of the day, it's kind of a no harm, no foul type situation, isn't it? Sorry?
Where does the runoff go from the roofs? Like they're slanted?
They're slanted, they're single pitch, and they run to the back and then down into the...
Towards the property lines?
Towards the property lines.
So they're like right there on it, they're just dumping off?
That's right. And I believe the plat actually shows a drainage easement through there that it would be dumping into.
Okay.
So again, this is in harmony with our code. It's consistent with the intentions of the neighborhood infill district. They have no negative impacts on the adjacent properties. It's not an unpermitted use that we're asking for. These are all things that are allowed in the code. These particular structures are allowed structures, not where they're located, obviously, or we wouldn't be here. We've, I think, demonstrated that we've got some unique circumstances involved with this particular property. It's not a self-created harm in the way that although it was built without a permit, but either way we'd be asking for the variance, even if they hadn't been built, because the property itself does not lend itself to being able to place these structures anywhere else than where they're at the moment. Finally, it's not going to negatively impact light, air, safety, or property values. And it's not granting a special privilege to them in the sense that anyone else could come and ask for a variance to do this, and then also anyone else could build a shed and pergola in their backyard as long as it was within the setbacks, or not within the setbacks. So if I'm going to have Mr. Florence come up and speak to your question, Mr. Chick.
I've got a quick question.
Okay.
If you don't know the answer, then I can ask the homeowner. Did the contractor ever mention the need for a permit, or did the contractor ever mention that he was putting these structures inside the setbacks?
I can actually answer that question because I asked the same question. There wasn't a contractor. So the individual, it was a sub, it was kind of a handyman guy that they had who helped out with it. And he didn't know. He was just doing what this is what he wants, I'll do it.
The Hewitt Bayou area?
Yeah, this is right off of Hewitt, isn't it?
Yeah, West Hewitt. Okay.
Mitchell, Florence. And the question was about the neighbor's complaint. So I approached that neighbor after code compliance came to my property. As you know, they're not anonymous tips. So I approached that neighbor. He's located in Eagle Bay, which is the neighborhood right behind me. And when I approached him, he stated that wasn't supposed to be a complaint. That was me just asking questions about it, because they then went and built a permitted structure in their backyard, because I think they have about 40 feet between the drainage ditch compared to my side is about 15 feet, 12 to 15 feet. And so he made it sound like he was just asking questions, doing his research. And I talked to him again, and I sent him a letter for this meeting, and he did not show up. But that is what my face-to-face conversation was about with him.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot, actually. People see something, they want it, they call and say, how do I get that? And then dragged in here.
Right. Yes, sir.
That drainage area behind your lot, it says it's a jurisdictional wetland, but it's really just a drainage ditch, isn't it? How does that even qualify as jurisdictional wetland?
Because of the current definition for what's called waters of the United States, WOTUS, I won't get into the gory details of it, but
Vegetation that's growing there that qualifies it?
No,
as
it's
wetland?
actually just the fact that water sometimes flows through there and enters the bay. That's ultimately what makes it jurisdictional. So basically any drainage ditch in South Walton County is jurisdictional.
Wow. All the mosquito trenches and everything.
It's a mosquito drainage ditch.
Any other questions? Thank you. Have a seat.
But I did have one more question for Mr. Florence. This is a windborne debris region. So one of the issues with building structures that aren't properly permitted is that they are not engineered to stay in place during a significant hurricane event. So what did you do for a foundation to resist uplift? How did you connect the rafters to the girder system? Do you have hurricane hardware on there? Is the shed secured with a concrete foundation, or are they just wood posts sitting on skids?
So I don't know, I can't speak to the girders, but the shed is on 8x8 pylons. So it's raised up about a foot off of the ground, and they're sunk into concrete. And then I have hurricane windows on the shed, as well as bolts where I can put up plyboard and screw in plyboard if we get significant wind. And then the pergola is also on 8x8.
Sunk into the ground.
Sunk into the ground.
I know you know this, but were you to grant the variance, he still would have to go get a building
Right,
permit.
get the building
And
permit.
if it doesn't meet, he's gonna have to, to upgrade
Right,
it.
okay.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Tatum?
Just one more thing I just want to get in the record is, one, I have the wetland buffer impact exemption letter. I just want to put it in the record in case anybody were to ask. And then I also have our letters of support and the HOA approval as a composite. If y'all want copies of them, I have them for you.
Yeah, so Stevens approved the wetland impact with a director's exemption.
For A, yeah. For A. And then this will be.
And the HOA's already reviewed it and approved it?
That's correct. That's what that letter states.
Thank you, Mr. Tatum.
Thank you all.
We'll give you a chance to come back.
I will be back probably.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Are you guys for or against this?
Well, I'm not sure because maybe Kelly and Brooke might have something to add regarding the community meeting. aspect of a neighborhood infill zoning district. So I'll give them an opportunity to speak to that possible concern.
May I ask a question? And I ask the same one all the time. What about the impervious surface ratio? Does this change it?
So whenever it gets to the, I hate to use these letters whenever, I don't know if everybody understands it, but when a project goes for a building permit, before they can get a building permit, they have to come to planning. And it goes through the building permit floodplain review process, the application process. And at that point, our BPR staff, as we call them, or the reviewers, will take a look at is there an approved subdivision on file, recorded subdivision? Was there a development order? In the development order, was there a stormwater plan that was approved? And they'll go through that stormwater plan and they'll look and see, was there, what is the maximum ISR that was assigned to this lot? Of course, there are other things that could impact the ISR. Is it in a coastal dune lake buffer tributary? There's lots of variables. So I'm sure that the additional rooftops will impact the impervious surface, but is it something that's going to be a problem? If it is, let's say that it goes over the maximum ISR that was approved in a stormwater plan, then they might have to put a swale or some other type of drainage feature to retain that additional water on the lot. But that's something that we can't answer at this phase because we just haven't dug that deep into it.
Okay.
Right now, we're asking this board, is it okay for them to are we giving them approval to violate the minimum setback requirements?
And that's the only thing that we're dealing with, and everything else will be dealt with when the time comes.
It's like almost like the other issue with the stage. We're going to look at those issues during another review process. Right now, our scope with this board is to look at the setbacks.
And that's all we're dealing with.
I mean, that's my take on it.
You referenced something earlier. Y'all come up to the podium, if you don't mind. What did you reference earlier?
I'll defer to Brooke and Kelly regarding the neighborhood infill community meeting requirement. Maybe they can speak to that a little bit more than I can.
Thank you, ma'am.
Brooke Davis on behalf of the county, Your Honor. It's just the original development order process. When it was done for the entire subdivision, they required a community meeting. So as far as building setbacks and things would have been discussed because this is zoned as neighborhood infill. It's one of the requirements in the code for this particular zoning district. So my understanding is this house was done at a later date, that we're past that development order process. We're now into the building permit review. So that's where the construction of the house would have happened. So we were trying to discuss internally as far as if there was a need for a community meeting or something like that to discuss these additional buildings within those setbacks, because obviously, this was done well after that original development order would have been granted and the setbacks had been established based on the community meeting and the requirements of the LDC at that point. So I don't think that I would take the position on a legal standpoint that a community meeting would need to be held at this stage of the process for these particular structures within the setbacks. So,
You say it would or would not?
would not.
I agree. Thank you. You want to take an enter staff report for the record?
Yes, I'd like to enter the staff report into the record.
So entered. Anyone here to speak for this? Anyone here to come up and state your name for the record?
Hi, my name is Megan Long, and I am their neighbor to the south, so I also live in this community. I'm sure there's a record somewhere of me calling the county. Directly on the other side of me, there was an abandoned build left in our neighborhood for about 2 years. It was not properly fenced off. It caused thousands of dollars of erosion issues to my own property, and that was never addressed. I called county code compliance. I called everybody I could to get somebody to come out there. We have 32 kids from babies to high school, and that was left open air with nails, all kinds of dangers, safety issues, storms coming through, and the county did nothing for our neighborhood for the safety, which also affects the sale of other properties within that community. So I wish that would have gotten this much attention. The Florences have small kids, and our neighborhood is very busy, and it's still being built. And so to have a small area for your kids to be able to play safely within a fenced area is nice. There is no music going on there loud to embark on anybody's piece. So I just hope that that's considered as well, because we've been struggling with the property next to me for years, and the county's done nothing about that.
Are you for this?
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming. Who's next? Come up, state your name for the record.
I'm Corin Beckham, that's spelled Korin, last name Beckham. I also am a neighbor, I believe 4 houses to the south. I just wanted to state that I think that it is amazing to have the Florences in our neighborhood. I believe them when they said they did not know, and I think that as good people with the neighborhood, they should have a chance to make things right by coming to this board, and I'm in a support of that.
Thank you for coming. The moons and the stars is lining up. Who's next? State your name for the record.
My name is John Zeidner, and I'm the neighbor to the direct north of the Florences. The pergola is on the property line adjacent to my home. I don't object to this in any way, shape, or form, other than having it get completed, which has been at a standstill during this entire process. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate the neighbors coming. Who else? Anyone else? Mr. Tatum, you get the last word.
I'll just reiterate, we do have some special circumstances that apply to this lot. Let's say the removal of these small structures seems unnecessary when we have the neighbors to both sides who are here in support of the project, which rarely ever happens. Not to mention, I did provide y'all with several letters from the rest of the community that's also in support. We meet the requirements of the Land Development Code's provisions for a variance, I do believe. It seems like the staff agrees with that too, based on the staff report. So I really don't have anything else to add other than a plea that you approve the variance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Motion close at public discussion.
Motion to close public discussion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion.
Make a motion to approve the variance as requested, with to the extent that it just affects the
Attach the survey.
the footprints of the buildings on the survey.
And if it's ever tore down, it cannot be replaced.
Yes, that too.
Discussion. Paul?
Well, I'll say one thing. Sorry.
I should have started to the right. Excuse me, Paul. Margaret's decided.
Oh,
Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Margaret.
I thought you said all. You said Paul?
Go ahead, Margaret.
Okay. Oh, all right. It's great that both the neighbors on either side are here to support that, and it just seems like a nice community. That said, it's a small lot. I don't like these one-off setbacks changes, but it seems like the community is okay with it, so I would be okay with it. Your neighbors are here, and you've gotten lots of letters, so.
I think it's an extremely small lot. There's a lot of community support. All the neighbors are in support. I think it's just a really good thing.
Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've established the hardship part of it, but since there's literally no opposition to it, and you even got Stephen to sign off on the wetland impacts, that's pretty impressive, so.
Chris?
Yeah, I normally oppose this kind of thing, but with staff's comments and all the neighbors' comments, I might vote differently this time.
Paul?
I really believe it's a mistake on the owner. I think he should get a permit.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Stars are lined up for you.
Thank you all.
We have one more?
Two more.
Two more.
No, one more, right?
One more in minutes.
This one.
One more. Item number 9, Corso Variance.
You get it started, then we'll turn it over to the applicant. Go ahead.
Okay.
There ain't gonna be nobody left. Appreciate y'all coming. Okay, go ahead.
Corso Variance, project number VAR 25000039. This is submitted by Stephanie Corso requesting a rear setback reduction of 7.6 feet from the 15-foot requirement, and a side setback reduction of 2.10 feet on the east side of the property on 0.28 acres with the future land use of conservation residential and a zoning category of conservation residential 2-to-1. The property is in District 4 at 40 Longleaf Circle and is identified by the parcel number in your staff report. May I enter the staff report into the record?
Yes, thank you. So entered.
Okay, if you don't have any questions for me, I'll turn it over to the
We'll
applicant.
get you back up here. Thank you. Ms. Corso? Corso?
Hi, I'm Stephanie Corso, C-O-R-S-O. So this is my home that I purchased in 2006, and this was not brought to my attention until very recently when I was considering selling the property. So I was not even aware that the property was encroached into setbacks. And I'm not totally clear if this, I'm not sure when the land development code was actually created, if this was even in place before the land development code was created. So when I decided to sell the property, that's when it was identified, and then I applied for the variance to address it. The rear and east side encroachments have caused no adverse impact to the neighboring properties and have generated no written objections. It does not expand or change the structure. It simply recognizes an existing condition and avoids any unnecessary hardship. And so that's what I'm here for today.
When was the house built?
The records are weird. I purchased it in 2006, but there's even records that it may have been built in 1997 or 1993 area. So
Where's it located at?
it's 40 Longleaf Circle off of East Hewitt,
So it was built back in 97
around that time, yes, sir,
or before?
or before.
496?
Pardon me?
Would have been before 1996.
It's possible because there was an owner there who owned almost half of that street, and then he split his lots over time. And so there may have been structures built there as early as 96. I really don't know for sure, but I think it's possible.
Any questions? This seems pretty, she bought the house, it was built in the 90s, there was, it's been an encroachment, this is
Did you pay
something
cash for
she
it?
did not.
No, sir.
Was
It was
there
the
a
first,
survey requirement?
first house
when
I
you-
ever bought. Pardon me?
Is there a survey requirement when you purchased the property
There-
by the mortgage company?
There was, and I tried to find the title company to see because that was my recourse, and they're out of business. We can't even find them.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you
a
very
seat. You
much.
get to come back. You have anything you want to add? How does staff, come on up. How does staff feel about this? Did y'all like it? I mean, it's, you know, where does the hardship start? It starts when it was built. She bought it, so help us out here.
Yeah, I do not think that the hardship was self-created. It was unknown. That was likely not disclosed when she purchased a home, given that the property is so old. So I don't see any cause for concern here. She's making an effort to comply with the setback requirements.
We entered a staff report.
Yes, we did.
We did. Thank you very much. I sure like this building department that we've made improvements. Thank you very much. Anyone here would like to comment on this? Anyone for it? Anyone against it? Do you have anything else to add? Anyone has any questions? Go ahead.
If the house is sold, and I guess this is for planning, actually.
Okay.
If the house is sold with this variance, will the house go back to the original setbacks?
No.
No.
If not sold, I'm sorry.
Tore down.
It tore down, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
figured.
most
I just
likely.
wanted to make sure that
So you
that
would be
was.
starting from new construction at that point
We'll
if
make
it were
that part of
demolished.
So, okay.
Now, I do wonder, I don't see the dimensions on the lot. I see that it's, I see the overall acreage, but this is part of the old Santa Rosa Plantation plat. And if it's less than 10,000 square feet in area, the lot itself, then the side yards are actually 5 feet. There's a provision written in the Land Development Code that says if it was platted prior to 1970 and it's less than 10,000 square feet, then we can give it a 5-foot side yard setback. So
12,000 square feet.
12 or 10?
The lot is 12,000.
Oh, it's 12. Okay, so that wouldn't apply. Okay, thank you.
It's 139 by 86.
I only brought that up because that way, if it was redeveloped and you saw a house at 5 feet, if it was less than 10,000, I wouldn't want you to think that we were trying to mislead. But since it's 12,000, that doesn't apply, so it'd be 7.5.
Right.
Motion to close the public discussion.
Motion to close public discussion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion.
Make a motion to approve the variance as requested with the stipulation that it, if it's ever torn down, that it not be, that it have to go back to the actual setbacks.
Second.
And that we attach this survey for the footprint.
Second.
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
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 We got you taken care of. Thank you very much. Chris? We've done good tonight.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
If you could just take a minute and wish Stephen a happy birthday. Today's his birthday.
Oh,
We're sorry
yeah.
that he's not
Happy
feeling well.
birthday, Stephen.
Yes, but,
Give him a happy birthday
do-
for sure.
we celebrate him
Hope-
today.
hope he gets
so,
well.
Happy
yeah.
birthday, Stephen
Thank you.
Schoen.
So
Thank
far,
you.
we appreciate the changes that he has made, and it is very nice to come to these meetings and have compassion for the property owners of this county.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?